Hello, people. Welcome to my weekly live. Today I'm going to talk to you about why the current times are the perfect time to work on your career. And I want to say this independently from whether you're currently going back to work at the office and now realizing that you do not want to do what you have been doing or what you're currently doing anymore, or whether you're currently looking for a job because you have lost your employment, for example, during the lockdown period. But before I back up my thought here, let me introduce myself to those who are here for the first time and are watching this for the first time and don't know me yet. I'm Claudia De Pasquale and I'm the founder of Claudia De Pasquale LLC or GmbH and the creator of the Career Leap Formula. I help mid-career high-performing professionals set up an inside-out strategy so that they can increase their success without losing financial stability in their careers. And how I always love to say is I'm currently on a mission to end the inner struggle which people face of the choice between money or fulfillment. Now let's go back to my opening statement and let me back that up for you. The reason why this is the perfect time to work on your career and think about making changes is because in my opinion, what happened during the last months and weeks where we were at home or where people were confined to work from home, using home office, many people realized how much they are ready for a change, because during those days and weeks, people had to handle so many things at the same time that these people most probably realized how much you are actually fed up of this and available for change, or perhaps how much you want to create clarity around what it is that you really could be doing. So how many of you got to realize how much you were dissatisfied or perhaps even satisfied at work during these lockdown weeks, which are coming slowly to an end, at least in Europe and also in the States, in the Anglo-Saxon world. So my message of today wants to support the people who realize they are absolutely not available anymore for their current work situation. And it wants also to be an encouragement to those who lost their jobs and are now totally aware that they do not want to go back to a similar situation to the one they previously had. And also for those who are still unclear on seeking clarity about whether it could be a good time now, where we talk about recession and where we talk about difficult economies, whether this is really a good time to work on your career. So I'm gonna list you some additional questions which want to be an encouragement to ask yourself around these questions so that you can create some clarity, right? So I would suggest you take pen and paper and you start writing down. Number one, are you still challenged at work? Ask yourself this, because straight to the point, people, if we don't face challenges at work, we're not going to change. And if we don't change, we will not improve as human beings, which means if we don't improve, we will not be able to evolve. And we need to evolve in order to grow and become the better versions of ourselves. So in the moment you realize, when you ask yourself this question, that you've mentally kind of checked out of work, it might be time to step off this treadmill you find yourself on and make a really bold career shift. Number two, ask yourself whether your health is suffering from the current career situation you find yourself in. Because many people have been reconnecting to a healthier version of themselves while staying at home. Did you too? Did you do the same? Prior to the lockdown, were you chronically exhausted? Were you not able of sleeping properly? Or were you even experiencing other physical symptoms? Because this might be your body's way of telling you that it's really time to make a change. Reality is that your ideal job and the good career for you is going to fill you up with energy. So if you were operating on the edge of constant stress and feeling you were walking towards a burnout, making a bold career shift now could really keep you away from burning out and having a major breakdown. Number 3, have your values and priorities changed? Because perhaps, look, when you started your career some years ago, perhaps you were in your 20s and single, you didn't have any more responsibilities than that. And now you're married, you have kids, you have people waiting for you at home in the evening, and working those 13 hours or even more, you were used to, doesn't seem so attracting, right? Instead, now you realize during these past weeks and months that you were able to create more freedom and flexibility. So these have become more important to you, to have more freedom and flexibility. And an alignment between your career, your work, and your core values is going to give you satisfaction. And satisfaction is going to give you happiness and fulfillment. So check in with you. If your values and your career are no longer aligned, you need to take a career shift. Number 4, you realize that you don't have a passion anymore for what you do. Is this your case? Because making money and doing something that fires us up doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. And that's exactly what I'm on a mission on. You don't have to choose between fulfillment or making money. And the thing is that in our society, we're so used, and people are so used, that me included, before I experienced what I experienced on my own with my career, that if we are going to enjoy what we do, we're automatically going to make less money. Sorry, that's BS. It's wrong. You want to know why? Because if we are passionate about the work we do, what we are doing is going to be more meaningful. And there are even researches done by career institutes that consistently show that people who experience meaningful work report better well-being and engagement. And basically, if you're more engaged, you are going to thrive, and automatically your work is going to bring you, because you're going to be brilliant and engaged and committed. If you're employed, your work is going to bring you more money, right? So the collusion doesn't have to be. You can do meaningful work, have a passion for what you do, even if I don't like the expression passion, but that's what it's commonly used. But be really committed, love what you're doing, and make good money. And I want you to ask yourself, is this still the case? Are you still committed and loving what you're doing? Number 5, the last question. Have you been dreaming forever of doing something else? Honestly. Have you been spending many lunch breaks daydreaming about you could find yourself in a completely different situation? And if yes, how did this situation look like? What was it you were thinking about? What was it you were dreaming of? Because what we're also used to doing is that our rational thinking kind of dismisses our creative and fantasy thinking, our dreams, right? And I want to invite you to think back to your younger self. Did you have a dream back then that you rejected because it wasn't practical enough or acceptable enough? Instead of going after our dreams, we make excuses. And what is actually behind those excuses is I'm too scared to try and to fail. And let me challenge you, might that be your case? So now you have these 5 questions you can focus on, and I trust they will help you get more clarity around your current career situation. And to conclude my message of today, the moment you start asking yourself whether your career needs to change or whether you could be doing something else, you basically have already answered the question whether you need to do something else or not. Because otherwise, if you wouldn't have to, you would not even come up with the question itself. It's as simple as that. Sending you loads of love. Seeing you next week. Hope this was helpful, and have a good rest of the day and week. Bye.